Hello, this is Lavinia at Cross Keys Crafts. Today with an idea I had a few days ago, but I didn't really get round to crafting. I have seen a few pictures on the Lavinia Stamps Facebook groups. There are two groups there, sort of making New Year's cards. I don't really need a New Year card, so I dismissed the idea at first, but then I thought I could actually make a picture for my journal. One day I will show you my journal. I did a bit in that last year, but not on video, because I thought I'll make it a private journal. But this year I thought I'll make a few things and then show you what I have crafted in between off camera. The other thing I had that inspired me to do this is I finally tidied up my Lavinia stamps a little bit, and I bought these cogs last year, and I was all up for it. I also bought the clock, but I never got round really crafting with them. I think I used two of them for something, but I thought with a sort of New Year topic of time, that would actually be quite nice to work with these. And I was thinking party, New Year's party. Well, the mice, they always like to party, don't they? So I'm going to be using those today. Then I thought about fireworks. Oh, there's the smaller clocks. I'm more likely to use those actually. Fireworks. So I just got some of my stars out here. They're not all, this one doesn't have the packaging with it at the moment. There's another lot of stars here in the fairy box set. I've also got the little snowflakes out. I thought they might come in handy, but I don't know yet. If I feel like I need a sentiment, I thought the wishing you peace would be nice from these Christmas stamps, because you know you wish somebody peace and health for the new year, so I thought this would be nice. And then I cut myself a mask or a stencil. I just used my number dies 2024. I thought it would be nice to have that on the top and then the mask at the bottom. And at first I cut it in heavyweight cardstock, but then I remembered if I want to do any stamping in here and a cross, because I'm thinking about using the cogs for that. I did a video, I can't remember which one it was now, where I was struggling because you've got the thickness of the cardstock, and that sometimes makes it tricky to stamp on the edges here. So I've also cut it in paper, so I can use this one for ink blending, and then I can use this. I didn't line this up, so I will have to move the numbers around afterwards for the stamping, but I think that will be fine. Also, for the 0 and the 4, I have kept the inner bits, and I just can glue them down with my removable adhesive here to basically fill those in, so keep the inner pieces in place. And I think that's what I will do at first. I had this idea. I've also got the two lots here, the inner and the outer of the moon masks here, because my idea was to not only do the stenciling of the numbers but also have some circles around them. I think that could look really nice and interesting. I've decided on a bit on a colour scheme, but as any creative process, I'm not quite sure yet where it's going. I know I want some glitter, some stickers on this, but that's all I have decided. So I've got two colours here, well, three really, which is the Sundance. I know I want some sort of the bubbles around them I want in yellow. I really love the blue atoll, so I'm thinking doing the numbers in that. And to stamp on the blue atoll, I've got the warm breeze, because that matches really nicely. But that's all I've decided on, and the rest I think I just let it happen. So I'm starting off with putting the inner bits down here. So as I said, I will just put some removable adhesive just a little bit to hold this in place. And I'll tell you what, the other thing I will quickly do is glue this, my basically homemade stencil on, because that is moving at the moment. So I'm just using my removable Scotch adhesive. That really leaves no residue, so I can put this on. Oh, by the way, underneath, I've got this sheet. It's a thinner piece of cardstock. I can't remember whether that is multifarious card or just a smooth cardstock, but it works for me. It'll be fine for ink blending and everything. And now I've already lost the inner. There it is. So the easiest thing to do, actually, just remembered, is I've popped this in here. I can see where this one needs to go. I'll press that down and then take this out again. Then I'm doing the same with a bit from the fourth. Got the triangle there. Oh. Nope, it doesn't stick down. Not enough adhesive on this. That's better. So, first thing I'm going to do is, I'm just thinking which way around. Yes, I want the numbers to be in blue, even if I go over it with yellow afterwards for the background. And blend it in a little bit. Yeah, just making sure I don't mix this up. So I'm just using the blue Atoll, just testing it on here, and just with a light application. I just want to fill this in because I want to stamp over that. Could use a stencil brush if you wanted to, but I like the smooth finish of this. So we're putting my hands over. So I think that's all I need there. I think that'll be enough for me because, as I said, I will stamp over this. And my cat's just calling for my attention, so I shall quickly switch my camera off and I'll be back in a moment. I just figured then, rather than using this template here or stencil where the numbers are in a different place, I will actually cut one that matches the dies here, or the die cuts. So I'm going to align the dies here again, and I'm going to put this through the die cutting machine. It's easy to cut through this layer once you've popped these in, and then I have actually got a second stencil that will match the first one. That will make it so much easier for me. So I quickly do this off camera. So for the stamping, I have replaced my thicker template here or stencil with the paper one now. I've also replaced these two pieces just to be on the safe side, and I've already mounted a few of my cog stamps here, and I've chosen one of the clock stamps. I think I'll start with a bigger one. I know I won't be able to see a lot, but I like the idea of having some of these numbers visible here. So I'm choosing, as I said before, the VersaFine Clear Warm Breeze. And I'll tell you what, the other thing I'm quickly going to do here, just got a scrap of paper, a piece of scrap paper. I'm notorious for messing up the areas or dropping lids from the ink pads on there, so I quickly cover that up. So I haven't used these before, but I usually don't have any problems with residue. from with the Lavinia stamps, but I'm just testing it here. Just make sure I'm happy with that, and I am. It's a lovely colour. I really like it. So I'm just going in for that. With these areas here with the twos, I need to be mindful to really come in from the top so they don't accidentally fold over. So I'm going in to the bigger areas first, and then I can fill that up with my smaller stamps. And I'm also going to rotate it. Sorry, I have zoomed in so you can't see me fully inking this up. So I'm rotating this a little bit so I've got different numbers in different areas. Tell you what, I'll see if I can get this in this curve. I think that would be nice. It fits almost perfectly there. So maybe just do a little bit here, not too much. Obviously it wouldn't have to ink up the full stamp. I'm hoping nothing's leaking through. And yeah, I think I'm just coming in again here, but putting it this way around. There we go. So, and now I'm just inking up my little ones. Just fill this in a little bit. Because I want this to basically give some pattern to these areas here. I'm not too worried about the cogs actually working and matching or touching the other ones. Doing one more here. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'll leave this like this now. So I'm leaving this to dry just for a minute or two before I take the template off, because the VersaFine is a bit wet, a little bit longer, and I don't want anything to smudge. In the 2 minutes that I took to let this dry, I actually have cleaned up my stamps and my acrylic blocks. This is one of my New Year's resolutions, to be a bit more Joe Rice and clean up straight away, because I usually leave the stamps on the side and they are still there weeks later. So if I take this off now, I've got this lovely pattern here on the numbers, so I just have to peel these off as well. Don't need these anymore, I think, because I think if I need to ink blend over this, I'll just use the thicker numbers, just making sure there's no glue residue. Yeah, I really like the look of that. So now my idea was to create some bubbles around these, so I do need to cover these, and as I said, I think I'll use these numbers here. So I'm going to put some stick it removable on the back here, cover the numbers, and then come in with my moon die. I quickly do this off camera. I've put all my numbers in place. By the way, if you don't have this stick it removable, I think you can actually buy masking sheets that are easy to peel off, so you could die cut from those. For me, this is just the quickest way of doing that. So I've got my moon mask here. For those of you who don't have that in this size, this one is 2 1/4 inches wide. I just thought it's a good size actually. These bubbles will obviously be overlapping, but I thought it works quite nicely actually for the size of my numbers. So I've just got my Sundance here, and I know this needs to be replaced because the foam's disintegrating. So it's on my wish list for my next shopping spree at Lavinia. And I tell you what, I will actually turn this round so I don't mess up the bottom of the card. And I did notice, by the way, don't know if the camera picks that up, I think it's the way that the cardstock sort of folds when you die cut it. I've got a bit of a rim on all the numbers, but that doesn't matter if I have got a bit of overlapping ink there. So all I want to do here is basically just put down a layer of yellow. Oh, this is moving, so I need to keep my finger on that as well. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Because I haven't put a lot of the adhesive on there, I wanted to avoid that. So I just want to have enough there to go around. Just want these to be some highlights basically. Definitely want to go in the middle there as well, so it doesn't look like I left that out. And I think here I don't need to bother too much because I'm going to move that over. Sorry, I'm overlapping that anyway. So when I'm editing this video, we'll definitely speed this up. This is why I didn't speak in between. You could see the numbers were moving again a little bit. I tried to keep them down, and I tried to keep the template here, the stencil, in place, the mask. So I'm just peeling these off now, but I'm conscious that I've got a bit of yellow on my fingers, but it does come off quite nicely. I don't think there's too much residue. I will peel that off. I've got a bit of a white edge there. If you're bothered about that, you could just go in a bit with a brush there without turning it too green, just to take the edge off there. But I think the effect is really nice. And also, if you wanted to give this away, I think non-crafters will be quite intrigued in how that was created. So I'm just cleaning this up, cleaning my mask up, because again, this is something I wouldn't have done in the past. This would have been sitting on my desk for days. So I quickly do this, and then I'm going to pick my mice to start the party at the bottom. For the stamping, I'm going to use my stamping platform. My stamps though, some of them still got a bit of residue on there from the times when I wouldn't clean them all the time. This one even has got some writing on it left, probably from another stamp that's been sitting on top. Yeah, oh, that's a happy birthday there. Never mind. This is why, once I put the cardstock in, I've just got a piece of acetate. This is actually a laminating sheet just on top. So whilst I play around with these and align them, no residue will end up on the card. And what I like to do with the mice is, depending on which way they face, so this one with the lamp is looking that way, so I will have it on this side of the card looking that way. I find that nice. So I think I'll have them at the bottom somewhere so they can look up there, and I've got a bit of space to play around with, well, anything else really. I might have them on different heights, I don't know yet. And I might not even be able to squeeze them all in, we'll see. I was even thinking at one point whether I should turn these into balloons, because these mice, they stretch their arms out, and I think that would actually be quite good. I might just do that. See, but I'll have to squeeze them all in. They can't miss out the party. So let me just see. He can hold that balloon. No, I tell you what, I'll put this here, one with the float. Then this one maybe can, because he's got both arms up, he or she, so he can hold that those two balloons really. I need one. These are very similar, so I will move that one over there, have that one over there, and hopefully this one we can just about squeeze in. I might have to put them on slightly different heights. Yeah, I think that's okay if they're on different heights, because you know, they could still be in the foreground and background. They don't have to be on a hill as such. So by making sure this one's straight, I could, if they get too close, stamp them at different times, but I do like the idea of stamping them all together. So the ones that are holding the balloons, they can be a bit high, except for this one. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that now. So just closing the lid on this. So once I've picked them up, making sure they actually stick to the board, because I've had that in the past. That is what happens when you don't clean them all the time and put them back in the packaging. They can actually dry out quite easily. So I'm just moving this a bit closer. So I'm going to put this sideways now, that makes it easier for me, and I'm going to stamp in my VersaFine black onyx. And probably can't see that, but I'm making sure now they've got plenty of ink on them, because they're silhouette stamps and they need quite a bit. I know, or I've just been reminded, that some of these have got a bit of fluff on them because I cleaned them with some baby wipes and mine are a bit fluffy. So, but I'm not too bothered. I can always remedy that a little bit with some pencils, dark pencils, or some, even a fine liner pen. So just need to make sure, apply pressure everywhere and give the ink enough time to sink into the cardstock. With this stamping platform, I don't like to use my pressure tool, because I find that motion moves the lid about a little bit, so I just like to apply pressure from the top. With my Tim Holtz it was a different matter, but I definitely prefer this one here. Sorry if the camera wobbles. Just giving that a last pressure. Yeah, this one is not very even, so risking going down again. If not, I'll just fill it in with a pen. Yeah, it's a bit better there now. It's a bit of a smudge, but it'll be okay. I'll show you in a moment how to remedy that. So, according to my New Year's resolution, I'm going to clean those stamps now and put them straight back into the packaging. So I just wanted to show you how I remedy the stamping. I don't know how well the camera picks that up. This, by the way, is Minnie, and this is Moo, and I think both are ladies, and they haven't stamped that well. They're a bit speckled, and I'm just using a thin brush, and I'm just going onto my ink pad, and I'm just picking ink up and fill this in. So this works for the bigger areas. Well, it would also work for the smaller areas, but I'm a bit conscious of the brush being a bit too big. But that'll be just fine for those areas here in the middle. So I'm just actually twisting my brush a little bit so it doesn't fan out too much. Some of the bristles want to go on the edge. I also fill this one in. This one is Tango. So, but I've also had luck with a watercolor pencil. If you use a black one, just use it as a dry one. Don't necessarily wet it because that might show. I find that alcohol markers, even fine liner pens, they've got a bit of shine to them. Oh, I've just messed it up because I've got one long bristle standing out here. So this one's got a hair on the ear now. Never mind. So yeah, so that's my suggestion, not to use a pen that will give some shine, but I will definitely come in with my watercolor pencil. I'll show you that in a sec. I'm trying to get some extra light on this so you can actually see this, but I'm working at night time and it's not that easy to light this up even if I bring extra lights, but you might be able still to see where it's a bit speckled. So I've put in my on my VersaFine, but I'm now filling it in here with my watercolor pencil, especially where I'm missing a bit here, and also on the arms. I've sharpened my pencil as well, so it's nice. A bit of double stamping there as well. I just wanted to show you this, that there is no shine from the watercolor pencil, but I can very easily fill in all these grey areas that are not black enough for my taste, and I think that'll be fine. So there's no shine. I wouldn't use a a colouring pencil, because if they are wax based they will definitely be shiny, so that's no good. So what I need to do now is to turn these into balloons. So I want a little triangle here at the bottom, so I'm thinking about cutting myself a little template again and just doing some ink blending. I could again come in just with a brush and pick up the Sundance colour and paint that. I'll have a think in a moment, but I think that a stenciled look would look better with the stenciled area here. And then I will just use my fine liner pen for the ribbons, and then I think I'll come in with my stars. Just as an idea for you, you could obviously create a dark background. I was thinking that at one point, I might even do that actually now that I mentioned it, maybe do a dark sky at the top. Don't know how long this video is going to be, but I just fancy that actually. Maybe do some rather than just doing some stamping, do some heat embossing on the back with the stars. I'll have a little think, but I'll do the balloons first. So for the triangles on the balloon, I'm just using this acetate I just had, which as I said was some laminating sheet, and I'm just cutting a tiny little triangle with my scissors by folding this over. Sorry, I went off camera. By folding this over, just cutting into this, and then this gives me a little triangle there, which I can use the advantages here of the acetate, that I can actually see where I'm placing this. So I would base it at the bottom here, just overlapping a little bit, and I've got my little stencil brush, so all I need to do is then pick up my colour here on the side, dabbing it off a little bit, and just ink blend on this. Maybe I should not have gone onto the circle like that. You see, because I've got a full triangle there, so I need to see if I can blend this out a little bit. Not sure I like that now. What I will do, just washed it. Oh, it's still in the bathroom. I can go over that again. I put my circle mask on again, and I will just go at the bottom of the top of the triangle, bottom of that circle, just to blend that in a little bit more. So with this one, next one, I make sure that I will not get onto the area where the circle is, just at the base here. Actually dabbing it a little bit more than just brushing. Yeah, that looks better. And because I'm going to put some black anyway there with a fine liner pen, the twine, it'll look natural then. That's fine. I think I might have a little bit of residue there. It looks a bit darker, the yellow, but that's fine. So, yeah, I've got this fine line pen. I haven't got a clue where it's from. I might have found it once on Amazon and put it underneath one of my videos, but I don't know. Any fine line pen will really work. So, yeah, I thought this one here, that, was it Tango? No, it's not Tango, that's Moo, can hold both these balloons. So, putting a little ribbon there. Let me just zoom in so you know what I'm doing. And this can all be very playful. It doesn't have to be naturalistic. I'm just putting a little bow there. And this one just goes down here. I'm wriggling them a little bit. Probably they would probably be a bit straighter. This one I think I'll leave free. I'm thinking about what this mouse could hold, and again I think these two I give to this mouse. Oh, what I need to do though is lengthen these up a little bit so they hold them a bit more than just in the hands. I think that looks fine. I'm really cheerful. Now they're definitely balloons. I think this one I don't need to bother about remedying that. I think that's covered now by the little bow. So yeah, I decided against some heat embossing. I don't really want to overdo it, but I will definitely create some sort of frame. I like to come in with a darker blue around it and at the top, and I will definitely have some of my stars, just because stars for me are not only sort of, you know, winter and nighttime. I think they also mean party, so I'm going to come in with those as well. And I just need to decide what to stamp them in, because I don't have any yellow Versa mark, sorry, yeah, VersaFine Clair, sorry. So I'll have a little think what colour I want these in and where to put them. Bear with me whilst I make up my mind. I have got a tendency to forget that you can actually stamp with the Lavinia elements, which is what I'm going to do. The effect is not as crisp as you would with the VersaFine Clair, but it's still fine, definitely for the background for the stars. But whilst I've got my yellow stencil brush here, I need to give the mouse here with a lamp a little bit of light down here. So I'm just going in over this, starting in the middle and then just fading out a little bit. Just enough. As I say, it's not 100% clean, this one, so, but I think I might come in with a shimmer pen afterwards anyway, but that'll do me. So yeah, I'm just going to do some stamping around, definitely at the top of the balloons, make it look like it's night sky. As inspiration for you, you could use different colours if you want to make it look like fireworks. Yeah, I think I'll do some underneath as well, overlapping a little bit as well. just chosen 3 of these sets here. They're all these mini stamps, the pound stamps. This one's got a bit of residue, that's why I'm checking whether it leaves any residue of it. Well, that's fine. Yeah, I like that. Trying to rotate the stamps a bit again to make it look less obvious that they are repeated here. Yeah, I think I will fill this in. I'm just checking. I've got another set here with the fairy bugs, whether that is the same as this one though. I think it is, so there's no point in using that. So I'm just coming in with these again, just I think until I've filled these areas in completely. If I say completely, obviously I want to leave a few gaps in white. It's just so that I don't want to leave too much white. Could have come in with the snowflakes as well. I think they would work as well there for the background. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. So with his mouse, as I said, I will try to think what he could hold. Maybe he could hold that sentiment. Just thinking that. Sorry if I'm reaching over that to grab my stamp. I think that would be nice if I had that sentiment there and he could hold that, I don't know, on a line. I'll have a think about how I incorporate that. But as I said, what I want to do with this as well is now to just give it a little bit of a frame with another ink. So I've got the Blue Lagoon, which is nice. I've got the slightly darker Della Blue, which is a lovely blue, but I'm tempted to go in really dark with a dark denim. So I'll have a little trial run here on my scrap paper. Making sure this is not too dark. That might be a bit too dark, the dark denim. This is the Della Blue. Oh, I'm having second thoughts. Sorry about that. It's sometimes the way I create these things. I might edit this out, and this is the lighter one, the Blue Lagoon. Oh, it'll have to be that because it's a bit smoother. It feels smoother. Maybe it's my ink blending brush that feels a bit harsh. So that one away, I'm going to use the Blue Lagoon. So I really just want to go around the edge here. So I'm going to take a little bit of ink off the edges, off in the lid there, and I'm just coming in with a very light application, although I like to go a bit heavier in the corners. So, and I'm also grounding the mice a little bit. So I'm going up to where they are, definitely up to the toes there. Same with this one here, I'm going a bit higher. just realising this is the first Lavinia project I've had in a while, with me doing the Papercraft Society Advent Calendar in December. Can't remember now what my last project was with Lavinia, but I really, really like working with these stamps. They're just so much fun. So yeah, I think that works quite nicely with these stars. They're not too covered by coming in with a light application, so they're not really covered. So, but it's nice to have a bit of white around, which gives them a bit of a glow. So that works quite nicely. So as I said before, they need a bit of grounding. So I'm thinking coming up in with my really small stencil brush here and just giving them a bit more of a base here. Just blending this out a little bit. I'm not an expert at this, as you might be able to see. So I'm just going over that again with my ink blending brush just to blend that in a bit now. Just going all over there. Can you see? It's just a hint of more base, a bit hint of shadows. This one could do a little bit more underneath there, but really just a hint. So yeah, so all that's left for me to do, oops, hopefully not dropping my brushes on the project, is putting down the sentiment and deciding how I want to place that, what I could do. Yeah, I'll just switch the camera off. You don't need to hear me think, and I hopefully have got a result for you in a sec. Okay, so I have made up my mind. I want to do some partial stamping with this sentiment stamp. So I would like to put the wishing you on the top and the piece here at the bottom. I want the mouse to hold this little piece sentiment, but I want to give it a bit more focus than just having the naked sentiment there. So I have just cut myself a little mask here with the same laminating sheet I had before. I've just cut out a little flower here. You could use a circle if you got one that's got the shape of that, like a little rectangle, that would work. So I'm just going to place this on here, and again the acetate helps to see me where I want to put this. I could put another little balloon down there. I thought about that, but I think this will just be fine, holding it like a flower. So I'm placing it just above here, and I know the star will overlap, but it doesn't matter. I will just do it like this, and even the piece might be a little bit wider, but I just want this to give some focus to the word so it doesn't get lost. So as before, I'm going to use my ink blending brush, just using the bigger one, and I've also just found some more mini stars in my stash that I will use here as well. So just as with the balloons, just putting a little bit of ink down, and then I'm also stamping with these here, just to give it a bit more interest. Just making sure I'm stamping on the edges as well. I think that'll just do. So yeah, that'll look lovely. Looks a bit like a biscuit actually. So now, if you've never done partial stamping, there are two ways of doing this. One obviously is just to be mindful where you ink this up, but I find the easiest way is if I cover the word that I do not want to stamp. So I'm just giving that a little wipe. So I'm covering the piece here. And I think, yeah, I think I'll stamp it in black here. Could use a darker blue. Let me just check this one here. I've got the bluebell. That might actually be quite nice. I'll give that a trial run. So what you do basically is you ink this up, and then before you stamp, you peel that off, and then you've got no ink on that. But let me just stamp this off. If I like the, yeah, I like the dark blue. So doing the same as before. I need a fresh piece, obviously, of tape. Can use washi tape if you want to. I'm just using this now for convenience. Just be mindful where you're placing it, and then you can ink this up, take it off and stamp it. So this one goes on the top, just placing this between the two balloons. Yep. It's fine. It's small, but I like it. So now you need to be mindful with the next one. You thoroughly need to clean the stamp, or you could ink this side up and then cover this before you stamp. That's another version of doing that. I might do that actually, because that might be easier than trying to clean it in between. So I'll show you what I mean. So I could just ink up the piece, you know, because it stays wet a bit longer. Might be okay. Or I might completely ruin this now. See what I mean now? So any residue I've got on this side here now won't come off. So can you see? So different ways of doing this. Try not to drop this. I've done that in the past. Good thing is with the Lavinia stamps, they're very solid. So it's not like silicone that squashes. So you usually have a very neat finish. Yeah, lovely. I like that. So let me just get this out of the way, and then I'll have a think if I've finished my project. Yeah, I think, yeah, we'll have to come in with a little bit of sparkle, but I don't want to overdo it really. So I'm thinking either sparkle pens. What do I want to do? I love stickers, but my original idea was to put stickers around the balloons, but I think that might actually ruin the effect of these. So, tell you what, I think I'll leave it here. I think I'll call this a night and leave this here. I could always come back to this at a later date, but I'm actually quite pleased with this. I think this is really effective and doesn't need any more sparkle or glitter. Yeah, because whatever I do now might just overdo it. So yeah, I'll leave it here. I haven't got a clue how long this video is, but yeah, I'm very happy with the result. If you like this picture too, it's a picture, it's not a card this time, as I'll put this in my journal. You might want to give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more of what I'm creating, I usually post on a Wednesday and a Sunday. You might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that, and I'll see you soon with another video.